I'm here at Titanic Belfast for the launch of the Equality Commission's latest survey about attitudes and experience of discrimination in Northern Ireland. The report, entitled "Do You Mean Me?" examines not only how people have experienced discrimination here because of who they are, but also negative attitudes people may harbour towards others because of who they are. 200 people from the public, private and community voluntary sectors, along with representatives from trade unions, attended the event in the Andrews Gallery at Belfast's new prestigious flagship building.
About 30% of people feel that it's sometimes okay to hold a prejudice against other groups. And when we ask them who they hold negative attitudes towards, they tend to say travellers, transgender, LGBT groups and also migrants. Yet if we then ask them who they feel is unfairly treated in Northern Ireland, travellers and transgender drop off that list, and they're actually replaced by older people, those with a disability. It doesn't hold true that older people experience more discrimination. They're no more likely than any other age group to say that. The survey also thought that Catholics were more likely to experience discrimination, but they're no more likely to experience it than Protestants. So that creates challenges for us, challenges as to how to help people who've experienced discrimination, but also challenges to combat some of these stereotypes. But the Commission appears well placed to do that. Around 2/3 of people supported the Commission, had confidence in the Commission to deliver its remit for all in Northern Ireland.
It's very important that we get people together this morning to discuss the findings arising from our attitude survey. It's quite clear that attitudes and awareness and prejudicial attitudes in Northern Ireland can fuel inequalities, and it's important that we, as the Equality Commission and our wide range of partners and stakeholders who are here today, look at ways in which we can start to tackle these. We've seen the majority of people in Northern Ireland have very positive attitudes towards equality, and there's high levels of awareness, high levels of support for equality laws, but a slight hardening of attitudes in some areas, and we want to explore today what we can do collectively to address that, because that's very important for promoting equality in Northern Ireland generally.
Well, this is a very important conference for us today because it's bringing together almost 180 people from all walks of life and from all societies to discuss our attitude survey, which raises the question, what do you mean me? And that question is not just asking, have you been discriminated against, but it's also asking, have you ever found yourself having a negative attitude towards any other groups? So we want to start a conversation today that can hopefully move on from here into Stormont, into public life and the civic sphere, and we're hopeful that this will sort of kick that in.
Well, the Charity Commission is obviously interested in the work of charities in Northern Ireland and the very important role that they play. And the findings of this survey, I suppose, are quite surprising. It shows that a great many organisations who've been involved in promoting equality have done very, very good work, but there's still an awful lot left to do, and many of the organisations involved in doing that will be charities. So what I'm here to talk about this morning is what the role of charities might be, what they have done, what they have still to do.
The media does have a responsibility here, and they're very good at saying, you know, our job is to do one thing and it's not to be putting society right. I disagree with that. I think the media has a lot to do with putting society right. And I would say to journalists, do you not think the media has done a lot of good in the past? And when they own up to that and accept that, then they have to say, well, we're not letting that stop now. There is a future, and we're part of that as well, and we have to be responsible for the attitudes of the society that we serve.
The police service welcomes this report. It's useful. It helps to inform our policy making and hopefully our practice as well. One of the strengths of this report is that it's longitudinal in one respect, in that we had the 2005, 2008 and now the publication of this report, and it allows us to see some of the developing attitudes and unfortunately some attitudes that haven't changed too much within Northern Ireland as well.
Well, I'm here to give an employer's view in response to the report that the Equality Commissioner produced. And really, I think I'm trying to share my experience of dealing with equality issues with the audience and engage in a discussion with them to hear some of their experiences as well.
I'm Fidelma, Carolan. I'm an Equality Commissioner and I was asked to speak on the panel today to bring that Equality Commissioner perspective. And I'm also involved, I work for Unison and I've been involved in lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender rights for the last 20 years or so. I think this is a really, really important piece of research. It provides a very robust evidence base to really highlight some of the key areas of discrimination and negativity, maybe so much rather than discrimination, that exists in our society.
Well, I'm delighted to be hosting the event. I was very honoured to be asked, but I think it's something that interests most of us. I think the fact the survey happens once every 3 years is quite interesting, and because we can then go back and reflect on what did people say in 2008 and what has changed and why. So I'm delighted to be here and really looking forward to hearing what the people in the audience have to say and what they think we should be doing and what they think, of course, the Equality Commission should be doing.